turn down our sound. Uh, hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Okay, there we are. Woo. All right. Let us begin with the fakest of fakesty news. And I've looked up something. I don't have a rant, but I do have something that I see.
I do have a bit of a rant,
Please do enjoy.
so let's pull it up here. You know, it's really adorable the idea that authoritarianism is something that might be happening as opposed to is here. Like it's a seasonal allergy or something. Oh, I feel a little fascism coming on. Better take a Claritin to vote my modern or how did I read that? And vote moderately.
Clarendon. To clear that up, yes.
No, no, we're definitely in authoritarian territory. We're already smack dab in the middle of it. We're marinating in it. We are the brisk in the slow cooker of surveillance, censorship, and executive overreach. The only thing missing is the parsley on top and maybe a nice oily of denial. And the worst part is people keep appeasing this douchebag. It's like just a misunderstood house guest instead of like a direct threat. Oh, he's not that bad. Sure, they're banning books, criminalizing dissent, but he brought the muffins. No fucking Karen. Those muffins are laced with fucking rat poison and voter suppression.
And voter suppression, yes.
From the left, we've got performative purity policing, so they're
Yes.
not any better
Nope.
in that regard.
Nope.
You say one thing slightly off topic, and suddenly you're a crypto fascist with a podcast.
Good, right?
They'll cancel your soul before you even finish your sentence. And from the right, oh, they've got, the fully cosplay going on, militias, flags, a deep erotic love of authoritarian daddy figures like Trump. They even call him daddy, which is fucking weird and gross. Who promised to restore order by bulldozing civil liberties like they're building a Walmart on sacred ground.
Mhm.
And here I am. Here you are, stuck in the middle, communists on the left of me, fascists on the right, and here I am stuck in the middle with Jew. Which historically is not the safest place for, you know.
A little.
We've seen this movie before, and it doesn't end well for anyone, least of all the survivors who have to spend the next couple generations at really awkward family reunions in the village. But no one wants to hear all that
Nope.
because acknowledging authoritarian creep means you have to do something about it. And doing something is the hard part. It's way easier to just tweet about nuance and whatnot while your rights are quietly shredded like tax documents at a congressional investigation. Appeasement is the political equivalent of giving a bear your sandwich and hoping it doesn't eat your face. Maybe if we just compromise a little more, the extremists will calm down. No, Karen, it's going to take your sandwich, eat your face, your voting rights, your reproductive rights, and then it'll ask for your dessert while it's kicking you out of the forest. So yeah, we're already here. The question isn't if we're in authoritarian territory, it's whether we're going to keep pretending the boot on our neck is just a quirky fashion statement that goes along with the keffiyeh we bought on Amazon to be a part of the jihadist authoritarian crowd. And if you're still wondering, if you're still trying to find out or find the reasonable middle, congrats. You're the garnish on the autocracy platter. So how's that?
That
Is
was
that
fun.
good?
Yeah, that was fun.
Mhm.
That was all right. We just
I,
gotta.
I think I just wrote that this morning
Mm-hmm.
after working until like 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I hadn't had any real time to like practice it or anything.
Yeah. I hear a lot of people talking about we're in authoritarianism, what are we supposed to do? But from my understanding, there's nothing we can do really right now, the way the courts and everything are. And the main thing people are doing, where people actually are working, that I feel, they're right now it's time to make community. Right now is to make your contacts. Right now is to get all your shit in order. Right now is to get all your licenses and your permits and make sure that someone can't look into your, you didn't commit any real estate fraud. You didn't commit any accidental, have no blemishes on your record. I think now's the chance. Now's when we just got to start hunkering down and waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like I imagine, um, everything that I've read points to Trump really being in a bad way. And you've seen him, right? He looks
Oh yeah.
like absolute shit, right? Like
Yeah.
this new. I mean, his face was so pale and his hand is getting worse. Like he's constantly wearing like what most people think is he's in the end stages of something where he needs to be hydrated. And there's only so much that you can hydrate a body before the kidneys start being stressed as well. So,
Especially when all you drink is like Diet
I
Pepsi.
mean, seriously, he's had a
As
really
somebody
bad
who drinks
diet.
a lot of Diet Pepsi and
Right.
coffee, so
But it's all just terrible that way. So, um, there's a good chance that everyone's mobilizing National Guard right now, not because of actual, obviously nothing actually is requiring this, but they're just trying to get their footings in cities as best they can, to have a show of force as best they can, because they're anticipating all hell breaking loose when he dies. And they pretty much are like, he's probably going to die. And remember his comment not that long ago when he said they tell him he's not doing too good, but he's trying to get into heaven. And if you were like me, I
I
thought
do
he was
remember
just
that.
getting a conscience. Like he was like, oh, they'll never get in. But he did say they're telling me I'm not doing too good, and I thought that was weird. Like, what is God telling him this? Like priests, or is he talking to religious people? Like, what the hell? But no, what he meant is the doctors are telling him he's not going to do too good, so that's why he's thinking about the afterlife.
That is an entirely feasible
Right?
scenario. And I remember, recently hearing, a lot of people talking about that. And I didn't think of it at the time because I was working and it was kind of like background noise,
Sure.
you know. Um, but later on I was thinking about it and I was like, that really makes a lot of sense.
Right? Feels like it. And he
I
just
mean, he is like the fucking Big Mac King,
I know
so
he's not taking care of himself. In fact, there are reports that I learned about back in like 2016 where they literally said he believed that he should not exercise because to him, you waste your life energy when you exercise. So don't
that is
waste
the
your energy.
dumbest thing.
Isn't it? But it's
That
something
is the
that a
epitome
narcissist
of
would
dumb.
think, right? Like if you're a narcissist, you think it's your energy and your magic, I can't waste that on just anything. Like I can totally see a narcissist believing that as an excuse to not have to exercise.
If that was the case, I wouldn't. The last thing I want to waste my energy on is work.
I know, right? You just like you're a millionaire, just go off and sit in a chair somewhere. You'll live longer. But I guess he can't help it because he cares too much about our country. Oh, I did learn something that I think is fun, and this is fake news related. Remember, did you catch the Cracker Barrel
Vaguely,
Crack
yeah,
pop.
yeah. I've heard a few people make cracking jokes about it. No pun intended.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And some of the jokes are that you're removing the cracker and the barrel, right? Because there was a white guy sitting on the barrel.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Did you hear the rest of that? Which is why
No,
I think they're really getting upset.
why?
Apparently, there's like, remember me a million years ago, you would get like emails being like, Procter and Gamble is their logo with the stars is a satanic logo and stuff like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
They
yeah, yeah,
spread that
yeah.
out. Well, there was a lot of those little
I
uh
still get
fake
weird emails about shit like
they're
that.
like that, right? So there's all kinds of these little fake stories about people's logos. Well, Cracker Barrel had its own little urban myth, little
Did it
legend,
now?
and that is that it's named after a barrel, which is where the massa would store his whips. And they said a Cracker Barrel is where you get to crack people, to give them a crack. And they said if you looked at the logo, the R at the end of Cracker Barrel was like the extra extenuated kind of like flare. And they said
Yeah.
that represented the whip. Cracker Barrel was like, what?
You
No.
know, that is fucking feasible because that's where like the term Florida cracker comes from, but
I'm
not about slavery, about like driving cattle.
right. So like I'm not, yeah. So like I'm not, but they say it is what Cracker Barrel has said is like, no, the barrel rep is what when they used to send soda crackers, you would put them in a barrel because they were fragile. So they would pile them
Yeah.
in a barrel to protect them. And then just because they'd be in a store, people would buy them and just sit down and be like, oh, I'll just eat some crackers and talk to people. And it took it back in the days where it took you like half a day to get to the store, so you didn't turn around and go back home
Yeah, yeah.
necessarily. So that was what they said it was named after, which again, that makes sense. But you can
That
see,
totally
right,
makes
but you
sense.
could see that if white supremacists all this time had been like, hey, 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 I'm eating a Cracker Barrel because, yeah, the barrel's there. Look, it's a whip. And then they took that away from them,
That's so dumb.
right? And that,
That when
that
your
is,
conspiracies fucking troll you.
I know. Yeah, but that's what led them. That's why they went so crazy over Cracker Barrel change. Because I was like, why? What? It just because they ruined a old white man? Like that didn't make any sense. But then I dug a little, and that's why they're upset.
You
Weird,
know,
right?
it makes sense
As though
in
you
like
said,
a
crack.
weird, way, especially since it's really kind of so inextricably tied to Southern culture,
Sure,
you know.
sure.
Um, and for some reason, I can't imagine why, racists, think that racism is part of Southern culture.
Right, right. Well, yeah, yeah. So yeah, and then we have, speaking of truth and not truth, we've got our Smithsonian's undergoing an overhaul because of the whole slavery was bad thing, and that's just a bummer. Just a
Yeah,
bummer.
yeah.
It's really white people. Everyone talks about slavery in the United States. They always blame the white people. That's what Jillian What's her face was literally saying, and she Michaels, yes, literally saying that.
And that there it's one of those things where like there is a conversation to be had about exclusively talking about white people as being racist or not racist, slavers.
Right, but
Um,
that's a global conversation. I think when
it
we're
is.
talking about the United States, we can keep it low. It's the U.S. Museum, the Smithsonian. That's our
Let's keep
slavery.
that. Let's keep
Right,
that.
right. So I'm just saying, like, I understand there are, it's a whole global story. You can go back to as long as people have existed on this planet, there's been some form of slavery. I get it. But I'm just saying, when you're talking about our museums and you say it's a
Well,
bummer that every time you talk about slavery, you're talking bad about white people. I'm sorry, you're in the United States.
my
That's your
point
duty.
is my point was that you know every time there's like a thing that you can have a conversation about, like maybe the broader, pan-Arabic, slave trade and like, how slavery is still a thing in Arab countries in Africa, in the
Yes,
the
there's
Asian
human
countries.
trafficking everywhere on every
Exactly,
continent.
exactly.
Yes, yes,
While that can still be a conversation,
certainly.
you also have to explicitly talk about this too,
Right, that
because
doesn't need to be a conversation. The global history does not need to be a conversation in the Smithsonian. The Smithsonian is a
no, that's
United
an
States museum.
American.
It's about us. So
Yeah,
that's my part that it
that
just
no,
really
no,
gets
no, no.
my
I
goat. It
totally
really
agree.
bothers me.
I
And when
totally
people were
agree.
saying, and I heard some lady also say like that, she said the same thing, like her irritation was that only like 2% of the people in the South even own slaves. But then you got to think about how well, like
All the people that profited from it.
and everybody, the whole country around it, and all, if you look at up until the slavery was illegal in 1860, as many as like 60%, and sometimes even more, like of all the founders were enslavers, right? Except for like one. I
Yeah,
forget. They're
and
all
but you know they don't people don't know how to have like nuance anymore. They can still have done great things while also
being
have
assholes.
done
Yeah.
doing or have done horrible things.
Yeah, and what great thing did they really do? They stole the idea of collective rule from the Native Americans and the Magna. They took the ideas from the Magna Carta. They came over here. They had all. They took all their money. They just didn't
That's
want to
how
pay taxes.
everything
That's what I'm
stands
saying.
on
That's what I'm
everything
saying.
else.
They weren't that brilliant. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know why everyone's just like I really don't understand it. Like there was forms of democracy already all over the world. Like why are we like, oh, these guys? The only reason we do that is because they had a lot of money. And oh, for someone with a lot of money, breaking away from somebody else with even more money was an amazing thing. And like whatever, but it never the people, I don't know. I don't know.
I think
I'm tired
the
of
big
this.
thing was like the religious freedom act or like part.
Yeah, but
Like
like we never really did it. We made three-fourths of per like, we never really gave anything. We pretended like what I think is that Europe knew that they were out of land and out of shit. And then at some point, just gradually over time, they just invested all their money in the United States. And then when the United States government broke off, that was what they wanted anyway, because then they didn't have to pay taxes to the crown. And so half of those people that were in the United States were still intertwined. And even now, it's even worse, right? You have mega global countries, I mean, global companies. So Europeans own all these companies. They come over here, pollute the United States, abuse, don't have to pay for, pay bare minimum for the workers, enjoy tax breaks out the wazoo. And then over there, they get to live in a nice Europe where everybody's taken care of and they don't have to see people dying in the streets. But we all get to see it over here. So like I feel like white guys have just continued the same thing they started. I'm not going to be clapping for our founders anymore. I'm done. I see what they're up. I see what they're up to, and I'm done with them. I'm done. I see it. I see it. We're done. Stupid Americans. That's all I gotta say. What do you say, Steve?
This is your rant. Yeah,
Do you have
I don't
get in here?
Yeah, I don't I see the definite downside of it. I guess for me it's always just, and this is not necessarily on the founders, but in a way, I mean the promises, we've never lived up to the promises.
Absolutely.
You know,
And it's always been about, I think for me, it's about the struggle to get to the promises. And
yeah.
that's the experimental part of like the United States.
Yeah.
I do
Well,
like an experiment.
yeah, and the other part of the problem, I think, is that people don't understand the part where Jefferson and other ones are like, you know what? If it's not working, you can just tear the motherfucker down. In fact, you should. Like, and that's what I'm thinking is like, I think it's gone quite a ways, and we've still talked about the promises, and even the founders, when they were still around, they were
Mm.
still building stuff into the system that
Oh yeah.
kept the minority rule. So it's like that whole electoral college, all that horse shit. I mean, they were so afraid of majority rule that I think they skewed it terribly to the minority. And now we see the awfulness of having a minority of idiots running this goddamn thing without any ability, without like you got to go through 6 different hoops to get your voice heard, and now we don't have enough money to even get our voice heard. So it's like it just, yeah, I mean, yeah, I get the whole founder thing. I get it. It was a great intellectual exercise, and yes, they did have to put their necks out. But on one level, yeah, you can see it as rich guys grabbing the stuff from the previous rich guys, like the Tories who were here, the Brits. They sort of had control of things, and then when they said, "Hey, you can't go over the Alleghenies and fuck with the natives in the interior," then the guys here are like, "Well, wait a minute, we got to go get some land." I mean, Washington was out there surveying land during the 7 Years' War, so he knew where all the parcels of land were. So
Yeah.
when the time came, he's like, "You know what, guys? I know where some property is at." So again, it's like, yeah, you guys were here, but then they're like, all right, we'll see you guys. And like, wait a minute, we're the guys who are the rich guys here. And like, no, we've got new rich guys. So there's a lot of that I can see too.
So much.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I think that the object should always be to try to be as honest as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that means holding multiple truths,
Mhm.
At the same time, and I think we've lost that as a country. And that was part of what, some parts of my rant were about. What it was like, the idea of ideological purity, like nobody fits that. Not even the people espousing it fit that. And nobody is ever going to.
Right.
Mhm.
But you could have a system of government that's neutral, that's simply a framework, so that those different truths can express themselves without being
Agreed.
being
Agreed.
the dominant one, which is what we kind of were trying to do. But to Steve's point, it was the tyranny of the majority terrified the rich minority so much that they canceled us out. They created a system. What the Iroquois Confederacy had, in addition to all of that consensus, was that when they went back to their respective communities, the women had veto power, which sounds perfect to me, right? The guys go, they hash it all out. You don't make anything, nothing's a law until there's a consensus. Bring it back to the rest of your tribe, and if people don't like it, then you got to start over. And it takes forever, but that's what they did for like hundreds of years, and it worked. And I'm not saying it was perfect, and they didn't have wars in their own skirmishes, but they fed everybody. Literally, there wasn't hunger. They fed them, They had room for people that were different. They didn't freak out over anybody that was, I want to dress like a guy today. They'd be like, They had divorce. They had everything. Like why can't we just embrace that sort of freedom? But for some reason,
I totally agree.
right? But for some reason, that part of freedom gets attached to like money, like how is that, like it's just so they can't, why can't they give it, why?
They seem very afraid of trying to try majority rule.
Right, why can't we have a
Which-
life?
And it's actually going to get even worse.
Yeah.
Both in the authoritarian camp and like there's going to be at some point a maybe French Revolution style
Something.
situation that occurs because almost all of the jobs are fucking going away
Yeah.
at some point in the very near future.
Seriously, you're right.
When AI practically does everything.
Right, and they don't have
that-
manufacturing yet, and they can't have it because the tariffs are in the way. So
Yep.
we're not focusing. We say we want manufacturing jobs, but we're not making it easy for any
But
factory.
even that's gonna be
It will,
taken
it
over
will,
by
but
robots.
Right, but you're still going to need people to fix the robots. You're still going to need people to supervise it. You're still going to need a plant's still going to have jobs. And I mean, there's someone's going to have to design it. Somebody's going to have to. I mean, there's always going to be some level where somebody can get in there, but you're never going to have that if we can't bring it back, and we're never going to be able to bring it back if you put these fucking tariffs on. So it's really weird that the people that are supposed to be giving us the new jobs that might actually be able to help us are blocking that. So yeah, to your point, yes, AI is going to come in. Also, all the people that they arrest that they can't deport are going to wind up working in the shit jobs. So like, what are people that are in the middle going to do? Like what? Like they're going to have to give a living wage. Yeah, right.
But even that's not gonna work if there aren't jobs, that people can do. Like I am too old to go out and learn a new career.
Right, but other countries that have this much money, like the oil companies, the people get a wage because it's
Yeah, no,
considered
no, I
part.
agree.
So I'm just
Like,
saying, like, we
Yeah,
might be
just
able to
basic
do
income.
something like that
Yeah.
is the only way we're going to be
Sure.
able to keep a standard of living and quality. And I don't see
Yeah.
them ever doing that for us.
no, I totally agree.
I think they'll
And
eat us first.
even if they did come up with what is it called, a universal UBI,
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's not going to be enough to,
No,
like, their proposal is what, like $1,000 per person.
I don't know. I didn't even look
I
at it.
I
I didn't
I
even take it
make
seriously.
I make we make $5,000 a
Mhm.
month, and like we're barely paying our fucking bills.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? So they've got to really take this seriously. Maybe, even use AI to figure out the best approach.
Well, it's interesting. I don't read very widely in this particular space, but there's a guy we listen to. I think we mentioned him before, a guy named Peter Zeihan, Zeihan, who he's a global strategist. He's hired by lots of big companies, global companies, to try and get a handle on like where he sees future trends going. And one of his pet things, and again, I don't know the underpinning of this, but he's saying that the globalization that we've experienced that's led the U.S. to its sort of catbird seat over the last 7 decades or so is unraveling, and
Yeah.
Trump is sort of a harbinger of that, he's that come to life. And
I think he's a bit of an accelerationist.
There you go. Yes, he's actually taking something that's already been in play and now is becoming accelerated. Exactly. So his take is that he's like, have you ever, he said about computer chips. He said there are thousands of touch points in computer chips in the making of them all the way across the globe. At this point, we don't yet have the capability to create a chip small enough, apparently something to do with being small, again, don't know why, requires an extreme level of machining, obviously, to get to a point where it can have human level thinking capabilities. Right now, he's like, you're probably about double the size of where we need to be in terms of the size of a chip. We need to get it down much smaller, concentrate it before we can get to the human level thinking. He says with the global thing unraveling, he's like, you are going to take at least 20 years or more to be able to build something up in your country, even with all the money, to be able to get to that point. So he's like, I don't even think we're thinking about these things. This is just his take till the 2050s. And he plugs us in specifically with military technology. He says there are not yet robots capable of doing this, and we need those better chips to do it. So he's like, this whole thing becomes a whole idea about how smart can AI get in the next 2 decades or so. And he thinks 2050s, realistically, where we can build it up to a point where somebody or regional economies or wherever we're going to go can create chips of this sophistication. Again,
I think that there's another aspect of that, which is like quantum computing, which is doing basically the same thing at this point that the computers did
Mhm.
in the 80s and 90s.
Mhm.
Like they're making leaps and bounds like
Mhm.
every other fucking week,
Mhm.
Right. That
And-
requires chips, right?
it's a different kind of chip.
Yeah.
Like entirely different kind.
Hmm.
Like it's weird.
Yeah, I think the thing still holds true though that no one country makes those. Is that
No, I
you're
don't
talking-
believe I believe you're
yeah,
right. Yeah.
You're talking about points all along. There's places along the, according to what this guy was saying, in the chip manufacturing process, some countries only deal with one thing. Like
Mhm.
Dutch in the Netherlands, they do like, I can't remember what it was called, ultraviolet lithography or some bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like they're the only ones that do it to the level that it needs to be done to get to that sophisticated chip that we need.
Yeah.
So once you start breaking apart the global connections, maybe
Yeah.
the quantum computing gets affected by that too. I'm thinking it probably does, but again, I don't
Probably.
read very widely in this space.
Probably.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
it's an interesting counter thought to
It-
think like maybe it's not the end of the world because people do go crazy and say, "Oh my God, it's where they're coming for us," and it's scary. He's like, his whole thing that I do totally agree with is he's like, you know what? This is the only technological leap forward that I can think of where people are actually talking about it before it becomes a threat.
Yeah.
We're all
Well,
super
yeah.
aware, like you're talking about, like Carol, we're all aware that, hey, this shit could do shit that people are losing jobs right now
Yeah.
because of what it can do. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's-
Quantum is in research phase. Right now they're working in hybrid approaches with classic computing, and aiming to unlock advanced capabilities in areas like drug discovery, climate modeling, and even improving the realism of generative AI. So, drug discovery, we're going to be shutting that down because of health, because obviously vaccines are bad. Climate modeling, we have no more information on that. The United States is just going to go black
Taking the
on that
satellites
because
out.
we don't want to tell anybody about that. The other part is improved realism of AI. Terrific. So now we can
Yeah,
get
right,
even
right.
better fake news out there. That's awesome. So really looking forward to quantum AI. Looks like it's going to bring us some great
Yeah.
things.
That's one of the things that I really hate about humanity is we take super fucking awesome shit and do the dumbest, most fucked up shit.
Computer
with it.
viruses. That's so irritating. Someone just programmed something just to be a dick. Like, come on. Like it doesn't anything like I get malware and all that stuff, but in the very beginning, it was literally just there to crash your computer. Like,
Yeah.
fuck
Yeah,
you.
literally.
Like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
All
Why
the
would you
all
do
the
that?
names should be some variation of dick.
Right? Like, what are you? Why? So irritating.
Well, I caught a dick virus again.
God, it's so irritating. God, I hate people.
It's a guy thing. There's some asshole in a basement somewhere who's
They're
doing
giggling to himself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do like though I did see this that was interesting, the whole AI thing about how they're able to process different arrangements of molecules to find new drugs,
Yes.
and how they're able to, like, because that was apparently the big deal, was you had to comb through all those possible combinations of molecules to come up with it, and now AI can give it to you. All you got
I think they did like 80 different combinations in like a day, like 8 hours, like a work day.
That's incredible. That's absolutely amazing. I mean, that's the good shit. That's the good side of this. It's like, yeah,
Well, I mean, there's so many good things that could come out of it.
Yeah.
We could better feed the world so that no one is fucking starving. We
Yeah.
can improve like the speed and structural integrity of putting up housing for people,
Yeah.
making it infinitely cheaper. We could, decarbonize,
Mhm.
all these things that are possible.
Yeah.
But we have a bunch of fucking old rich dudes who don't give a shit because fucking they're gonna fucking be dead in the next 10 years anyways.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Here, let me show you this. This is funny. You're gonna love this. All right, we're gonna share. Is that the one? No, that's it. All right.
It's AI. It's AI. It's not real. Pennsylvania Avenue doesn't look like that, you dum-dums.
Yeah, no.
But of course, when I look in the comments, here's what I find. Mhm.
Thank God, Joe.
I was looking at that then at first. I'm like,
Wanna look at it again?
no.
It looks pretty good though. Look.
I mean, it looks good, except that that's not.
No, and you just
Yeah.
see it goes on and on and on and on and on. Like it's just reproduced. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Pennsylvania
Kind of.
Avenue does feel that way, though.
What?
It feels like it goes on and on and on.
Oh
and
yeah,
on.
yeah. It doesn't feel like oh, that looks more like
No,
It's like
absolutely
Kensington.
not. Absolutely not.
But
They're
like,
all in the parks.
but like that, they're saying like, yeah, exactly. But they're saying like, that's why we have to send the National Guard. I mean, this is ridiculous. Why? How do we fight this?
Yeah.
They're idiots that are just like putting prayer hands up, like, oh, thank you, because they've never left their like their 2-acre farm or whatever. So
Honestly, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, because this has been the bane of my existence for all of my life. I have no idea how to fight stupidity other than to be a dick.
hmm
Like, that's all I know how to do when it comes to stupid people. And it is like the thing that I hate literally the most.
Well, Newsom seems to be having a good time with it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't he
He's,
great?
he's,
Fans are like,
he's
he's
been,
copying him. Like, you're an idiot. Yes, he's making fun of him, you dummy.
yeah, that's how fucking that works, dude.
That's
Yeah.
how dumb they are.
Yeah, it is amazing, but I'm still convinced. I mean, again, we watch some people that are have backgrounds in cults, either being through them or just analyzing them. And apparently, the mission failure here is that they did not turn over the Epstein files,
The
which
deep
everybody was promised and which Trump ran on. And I tend to think that that's probably eating away at some of the foundation of their cult thinking.
Yeah.
And they
I-
they actually say this too. They're like, it doesn't break immediately. It's not a dam.
No.
It requires lots of cracks. And I think the first one might indeed be the Epstein files, and now
Inflation.
inflation. Yeah,
They're
the
losing
daily.
jobs. They're losing their farms.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're actually, people are actually losing their jobs, taking away their Latino workers.
The second Trump, the Trump burger guy, the second one got
Oh yeah, I saw
deported.
that. Yeah.
Second one. Both of them were immigrants, those fucking idiots.
Say that again. I missed
There's
that.
there's an immigrant guys that like dumbass, I guess they created Trump Cafe and then they turned it into Trump Burger, and you can buy a burger with like Trump like sizzled into the bun, like not his face, just the word Trump. And
Oh,
like I was
okay.
wondering why Trump wouldn't have sued them, because you can't use his, whatever. But maybe
Yeah.
because it's just the name Trump is not a, I don't know. But anywho, they came for the first one and he's been in prison for a while, and now they came from the second one and for overstaying their visas. Like why the second one would have stayed if he knew his papers weren't in order, I have no idea. Maybe they weren't. Maybe this is just what they made up. I don't know, because they're making up shit about real estate fraud now as they're going
Yeah.
after everybody, right? They barged into Bolton's house. Like, my God, no one is
What
saying
was that about? I've seen
Russia,
it.
Russia. He shouldn't have. He supposedly that was a hoax, and Trump wants to rewrite it as a complete and utter hoax. Even though we all know that Mueller actually found shit, he just said it wasn't enough to
He left the charging up to Bill Barr.
right,
Bill
and
Barr.
was
Yeah.
like, mine.
Because
Totally
that's the actual process.
Right. So he didn't, but he didn't recommend. He could have recommended, but he was just like, "Hey, up to you." So he took his hands off it. So of course Trump took that to mean he was exonerated, which he was not.
Nope.
But now
not
he
at all.
wants to make sure. But now he's mad about it ever happening. So he wants, I guess, to intimidate all these people into admitting or taking a charge that they were part of this hoax. And so that way he gets that on the record, and then, oh, he got charged. I'm sure he's like a plea is probably what's going to happen. And you're just going to have to acknowledge, and it'll be phrased in such a way that, like, kind of like when Rudy Giuliani admitted it, even though he didn't admit that he didn't, whatever. So that's what he's going to do. He's just going to try and get everybody to admit to him that it didn't really happen. Never mind. That was just a Russia hoax. But hopefully he'll be dead before then, because TikTok.
And again, that's no longer the point. Epstein.
Yeah, now we're all into Epstein, dumbass.
Yeah, there was a meme that keeps popping up and says, "Boy, that's really fascinating. What about the Epstein files?"
Well, didn't Jelaine say that he was a gentleman?
She can say whatever she wants,
But
because again, the
I
files
mean,
aren't there.
The interviews with they've been real. I guess they really. I haven't had a chance
It was
to
just
read 'em.
nothing.
It was nothing, but she was never gonna say
Of course it
anything
wasn't.
because she wanted something out of it,
Sure.
and clearly she got it.
She
Yes.
she has work ethic if she
Absolutely.
wants it. She has a
Yeah.
cushy prison she would never otherwise have, and she's probably was promised a pardon if you keep your
Probably.
mouth shut and gets this going before he leaves office. He'll pardon her when it doesn't matter, but whenever he's going to leave office, and she's dumb too because he might just die.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess Vance is supposed to do it. But Vance and Tim Miller are gonna like and like Steve Miller are gonna like fight it out when he dies, because they're not gonna. Yeah, I think those guys are gonna have a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Hopefully soon enough.
Yeah, popcorn, please.
Yep. Put the champagne on ice.
Oh, by the way, speaking of popcorn,
Oh,
we watched Bring Her Back the other day.
what's that?
It's a movie. It's like basically like the entire movie movie, for me, it was like gaslighting trauma.
Wow.
It was such like overwhelming gaslighting throughout it.
Wow.
Like, and it's weird because on one hand, you want to feel bad for the bad guy in all of this
Yeah.
because like she's doing it for sad reasons.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying not to. I'm
That's
trying not
okay.
to give too
I
much
don't I
away.
don't mind
Bring her back.
Well,
overcorrecting.
Well, so the other people don't, you know.
Oh, okay.
But like,
Ah.
if you have like trauma with abuse and narcissism
Mm-hmm.
and gaslighting, don't watch that movie.
And they're
Ooh,
Nicole,
horror
very
film.
interesting.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
the
yeah.
horror film. Steve doesn't like horror movies, but I love them.
It's good, but not something you should watch if you've got like trauma issues.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, because it's a film star. The plot follows two step siblings who find themselves orphaned and placed in the middle of an occult ritual by their new foster mother. Speaking of horror movies, Steve is taking me to Jaws' 50th.
Ooh.
Isn't that
Yeah.
fun? We're to go on IMAX. I don't know if it's gonna matter because it wasn't filmed in IMAX, so it's gonna be
Yeah,
a big
I
fish.
don't know. Yeah, I don't
We'll
know.
see. We'll see.
Didn't they do a 3D
There
version of
wasn't
that?
Jaws 3D. There was like how many Jaws movies were there?
6 of it.
6.
Wow,
seen
that
it.
many? Really?
I
Jesus.
think there are.
Never
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah, the 3D one. I just remember the
I remember
arm
3D.
floating in the middle of the screen. Yeah, it was quite scary.
None of the bless you. None of the 3D. I mean, anything I ever watched 3D was ever scary at all. It never
No.
tried to be.
I like the
Ooh.
3D like superhero movies. I like
That might
that.
be fun. They might, right? Are they fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're kind of like a virtual reality anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sorry. There's only 4 of them.
Oh well.
Jaws, Jaws 2, Jaws 3D in 1983, and then Jaws: The Revenge in 1987.
What was he? Was it Jason riding him? Freddy, Jason, and Jaws. I'd watch that.
That was funny. So anyway, yeah,
It's like he eats Freddy and the claws come out and he can he's something like
He's even
that. It's even scary.
Yeah.
Let's write it. Let's write some fan fiction.
So yeah, I got the ticket for it, and I'm like, they were $25 a piece, and I didn't know. I thought, to me that sounds expensive, but people at her brother's place and extended family were like, oh, that's reasonable. I'm like, wow, I have not
There were
been to the
40
movies
bucks
in
now
forever.
when I look.
Yeah.
I saw some for 40. So.
Well, like just to see a regular movie, it's like $20 or
Is
something
it?
per
Yeah.
person.
So I guess it's not charging anymore for IMAX because it's not really IMAX.
It's not
just
really
a
IMAX.
theater.
They called it IMAX 2D.
Yeah.
So yeah. You just get extra sound. You get sound. They sweeten the sound, basically.
guess.
That's probably what it is.
Basically. Yeah.
It'll be a little louder, probably.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Dolby.
And then the choosing your seats I thought was funny because usually I associate that with concerts and football games.
Yeah, they do that. They do that with all of them now.
Really?
Yeah, right? I
Yeah.
All
think
theaters?
it varies the
Yeah.
pricing too, doesn't it? Depending where
Really?
you sit, I think.
I don't think
No.
so.
Oh, okay.
Really? All
I mean,
theaters
I mean,
like that?
I haven't encountered that yet.
Oh,
But
okay.
all theaters assign you a seat?
No,
I think
you can
so.
choose your seat. Is that what you said?
Well, yeah, you choose your seat.
Yeah.
So they assign you get a seat. So
Yeah.
you have an
Yeah.
assigned seat. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
don't just walk into the theater and sit down.
Not really.
That's weird.
I
have
mean,
seats.
if it's an empty theater, I guess. I mean, you in theory you
But
can.
you have seats is the weird thing. That's why.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They never even did that back in our day when they would sell out. They
No.
don't sell out anymore, do they?
No, I
Wow.
the most I've like people I've seen in a theater that we've gone to was when we went to the Minecraft shit.
Oh, okay. And was the theater full then?
Oh yeah,
That's nice.
of annoying kids and their annoying parents.
What are you gonna do? No, I've had some fun movie theater experiences. Usually for comedies. I was at one where it was downtown in on 18th and Chestnut back in 90, maybe even like 89. It was Chucky. It was a Chucky movie, and I don't know why we all went from college, but like we were not the demo audience. The place was just it was full, and people were yelling and standing up and running around. It was chaos, and I loved every minute of it. And I went back and myself whenever a new person came to town. I think we gotta go see a movie here. It's hilarious. It was amazing. I've never seen that before in my life, but that was fun. But I don't remember any of those movies except Chucky, the first one.
I remember all of them.
Do you?
I loved them. I loved them as a kid.
The Chucky movies. Well, you were a little
Yeah.
boy then. I was in college when Chucky came out, so I'm dating myself.
I technically for a lot of them I was a little kid.
Hey, you
and
probably weren't
I-
allowed. Is there rated R? Those are rated R, sir.
I know. And I snuck to go see all of them.
Your parents let you.
No.
How did you get
You
in?
buy a ticket to one and wander to another. Is
They
what
bet
you
that's
do?
what-
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
boy.
I'm gonna go see Bambi.
Oh,
Definitely.
well, Bambi was actually more terrifying than
was kinda
any
scary,
horror
yeah.
movie that
That'll
could
hurt.
happen.
That'll hurt a kid.
That's more, yeah,
Yeah.
that's scary. But
I was from the South. I didn't give no damn. I cared way more about Old Yeller though.
that was terrible too.
Yeller was tough. Yeah, yeah.
That was terrible.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Hey.
That's the last refuge for a guy. I'm not crying. You're crying.
No, there's something in my eye.
It's my allergies, damn it.
Aw. No.
Oh, speaking of nostalgia, the boys start school tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Does he hate it or is he looking forward
He
to
doesn't
it?
like it.
He's anxious,
Uh,
but we talked it out in like his therapy session the other day, and his anxiety comes from like the fear that like they're just gonna dive like right into the heavy study on day one, as opposed to like normal how school actually works.
So he's worried
But-
about the schoolwork itself.
No, he knows that he can do it. He just doesn't want to like jump right into it. He wants to ease,
Do they ease kids into it?
that's how they did it when I was in school.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
You didn't work
I'm
on
more
the
worried about my classmates.
Yeah,
you
that
didn't,
was
wo- you didn't do
My
you
stress
didn't-
was the other kids.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I by the time like I really cared anything, I was like big, so
Yeah.
I mean, I just even know. Well, for girls, you don't have to be big. You just have to. You gotta hold up with the mean girls. So
you girls don't have to be big or know how to
no,
fight.
you just have.
You have to be smarter
No, we have to be pretty.
and prettier.
You have to be pretty, and you can't be fat. Don't be fat. Don't you be fat.
You have to be smarter and prettier than
You
the
don't have to
mean
be smart
girls.
though. Nobody cares.
No, to like know how to like manipulate the mean.
But yeah, that's emotional
because
intelligence.
it's like it's like a little chess game for them.
It is. It is. It is. You're right.
Like it's a weird chess game.
It is a weird chess game where they
For dudes, it's like, can you beat me in arm wrestling? Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I could beat you. Beat your ass.
yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah.
It is
National
something.
Geographic shit.
Who's gonna get a
Who's
wedgie?
this tougher one?
Who's gonna get a wedgie? Who's gonna get made fun of?
Yeah, yeah.
Who's gonna? Well, the making fun of goes across genders.
Oh yeah, it does, but like
That's-
it's
But when you're a
It's
boy,
a
you gotta
game
take
for,
it
like,
or you
when-
gotta fight for it. You know what I mean?
We-
But there's ways. It's not all fighting because if you're really funny, you can get a and then everybody else laughs at the bully, and then the bully's like, so there's a bit of that going on. It's not all brute. I come from some smaller people that were good with words and
But
Fucking
the making fun of each other is like a game. Like none of us really took that serious, unless you talked about our mom.
right. But I'm just saying, no, because I've seen guys be dragged
Well,
down.
another thing that
Come on,
happened.
that
another
was
thing in
great. Make
clothing.
fun of your parents.
It's your
and
it's your
clothing, poor
I
Yep,
remember
closing.
Your
for my
car.
jeans, for my
shoes.
If
Yep.
you weren't wearing the right shoes, you could
Yeah.
be fucking picked on. Yeah, there's a
Right,
lot of shit.
right.
Yeah.
Right? Or if you're, God forbid, your dad drank or your mom ran around, that would be part
Oh
of
yeah,
it. So, like,
if
it's
your
all
mom was a
brutal.
whore, everybody knew it.
Everybody knew, and that was gonna come out. whether your trash stunk more, if there's any complaint about your neighborhood, about your house at all, they'd bring it up. If you were ever smelly once.
We didn't have that problem.
You're-
We lived too far out. Like
Huh?
nobody, we didn't really have neighbors. Our nearest neighbor was like, I don't know, like 100 acres away from us.
So you found other things to be jerks
Oh,
at,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we got bused from a long way away. We
Yeah.
went from Hunting Park to Germantown.
That's not that far.
Yeah, but I mean that's whole different neighborhoods.
Entirely different neighborhood.
Yeah, you're not going to know anything about their personal stuff.
right,
You had
no.
you had the Delco sort of thing. You were
Yeah,
all pretty much the
suburbs.
same
It was a
thing.
suburb,
Yeah.
We all knew everybody.
She's from the burbs.
I am.
Burb,
The dirty burbs.
Berber.
The dirty.
That's good. That's good.
So what
The
are you
dirty
doing? So
burbs.
is now your basement cleanup on the that's at the top of the list now? What's
No, I got 4 tasks to review
oh
before 1 a.m. after I take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's my job.
that's it.
Good for
Okay.
you.
Because
Excellent.
that's going to get me from 1,100 to almost $1,500.
Nice.
Good deal.
Yeah, they came back up with the voice work,
You keep
Yeah.
thinking that's-
but it's like that's and
it's
it's
not bothering.
yeah, it's the funniest thing because Carolyn nailed it to the point where they thought she was an AI. But it just was like, but they switched. They kept switching.
I just can't do that.
just
because
to fucking
I
switch
get
the target.
angry
It doesn't pay enough.
when they tell me to have to research and I'm not getting paid for research. It just pisses me off. I can't do it. It
Yeah, it's-
irritates me.
I don't like the little teeny penance they give per task.
I don't. Just seeing that pisses me off. I agree. Fractional work pisses me off. And the other thing that pisses me off is that, like, if you do something really well, at least at our level, they will knock you out and give you a different task. And I'm like, stop it. Like, can you just give me, and not, like, I wrote a little worksheet for myself. I was blasting through it. I was having a great time. I was like hitting everything. And then it's like, oh, now you're doing this. And I'm like, well, now I have to start all over again. And then now I have to read all that shit all over again. And I don't get paid for reading that shit. So it just made me mad. So God bless, I'm glad you can do it. I'm so happy that when we were like, do AI, do Outlier, that you took it up and it's worked for you. I'm so glad, because to us, it's been the worst.
Oh, there you go. You froze.
Oh, sorry.
You froze on my end for a while, so I don't know what
Oh,
you said.
sorry.
but-
I just said I'm glad that it works for you. I'm glad. I remember when we all started, and it's just I'm glad that it works for you. But
I mean, it depends on the project you get on and like, how long it is. Like, the one I'm currently on, like, I'm going to have it for at least at a minimum until the end of September, if not longer.
and I'm sure there are those longer term.
I love that.
Right,
That's
right,
awesome.
exactly.
Yeah.
To me, that would be great. But when you're getting started, when you're getting going, if you can't give them like 8 hours at a stretch or 4 hours, a bunch of time right away, then you wind up on these things where they're like, oh, we'll just change you out. Oh, we'll just change. And it's not about not working, because I was working on it. I experimented
Yeah, you
with
did.
this.
You did.
It's just at a certain level, like it's just not worth it to start over again. Like it's just to me, I feel like they're half the time they're actually testing their workers. You know what I mean? Like
There are
I
a lot of other companies out there that are kind of really better about it,
Right, right. Well, I'm happy that we're getting more traction with the other stuff that we do. So that
Yeah.
I'd rather work on that, because to me we have more control over it, and
No, totally.
right. So, but it's just very frustrating, and the fractional employment really sucks. I get angry at that. I hope that becomes illegal at some point, because that's not fair. Like, I'm glad it's work. I'm glad, but you should be even paid more. The way you're
I'm sure.
working. I think they're getting a bargain, and it irritates me. So I'm glad for you, but irritated then. You're worth more, Corey. I would pay you so much if I had lots of money. I would pay you so much money. One day, maybe.
One day.
One day. We'll try.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
well,
speaking of paid stuff, I've been doing some work on that.
Oh, neat.
I have some oh god, I'm having brain farting. FOIA requests that I need to
neat.
send out, which I'm probably gonna want you guys to do when I get around to it.
Yeah,
Sure,
that's
yeah.
in the meantime, I need to get a hold of the person that sent you all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
so that I can arrange to talk with all of the people around it and or get like their actual notes,
Right, right,
copies of their actual notes.
right. And you see the contact info, right?
I
It's
It's
whatever
somewhere in
I
there, I
sent you,
remember.
that's how it came. I forget.
Yeah.
It's
Email
like
address.
it's
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
and they have
Yeah.
to contact them on their website and stuff. But if you need any help with that or if there's any, anything I can do there, let me know and I'll put that on my list.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
All right,
All
I
right.
need to go get a nap because I
Gotta
was
be done by 1 a.m.
and I worked until like 4 this morning.
You must be so tired.
Yikes.
You're all the way in
I'm
Washington,
tired.
D.C. enjoying the
Yeah, have a
trip
safe
life.
trip back.
Yeah, have a safe trip. Sleeping on the Amtrak, are you?
I have like discounts for Amtrak and for what the fuck's it called? The bus thing.
Oh yeah, Bolt.
Megabus.
Megabus. Love
Yeah, yeah.
Megabus. That's like the best.
And Chinatown bus. I have those for Chinatown bus too.
That's awesome.
Nice.
For fun. Nice. Well, you don't need to go to DC now. It sounds like a hellhole.
Yeah.
I've seen I've seen Pennsylvania Avenue.
You see all the fucking homeless
Oh
there.
my God, Pennsylvania Avenue is just covered with homeless people. As far as
The messed up part is like they didn't even have to lie about like they're all throughout the parks. Like and there is a huge rat problem. And I'm not even talking about the two-legged ones. I'm talking about the regular rats.
we
in
got
all
rats
the
here.
parks. Oh, it
We got
used to
rats
have
everywhere.
way worse in the parks.
I don't know about that, but I'm interested. But
I
okay.
do.
All right.
I do.